Hey, what's up? It's Mr. G. I'm at Memorial High School. All right, it's the end of the day. I'm kind of tired, but I wanted to make a video about tool organization. All right, so check this out. This here is a project that one of my students made, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And you could actually pull out this, it's an air hammer. Basically what it does is this goes inside here and it just goes back and forth. This spring holds it in place. But when you go to put it away, you know, generally you would have just taken it, and then we have this area right here called the air tools drawer. And you pull it out and it's a complete, it's a mess. So what I did was I asked one of the students, to make this their project, to organize the draw, but to make it so that it works even when they leave. This is a while ago, actually. This is December 2013. Woo! Pretty long, I guess 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. Anyway, so what the student was asked to do was I hope you can see that, is to define the problem right here. So the first thing they had to do was take a photo of what the problem was. And if you could see here, this was the problem even years ago. And, you know, so they write about it, you know, what a mess, right? Then the next thing I had to do is solve a problem, not solve the whole draw, because that's overwhelming. You see, there's too many problems in here. You see? Lots of problems. So I just asked them to solve one problem, okay? And the one problem was the one tool they picked out. They picked it on their own, and what they picked was the air hammer, right? So the next thing they did was they said, okay, they decided, all right, they're going to make a cutout. All right, and they're going to try the best they can to make the cutout, and then they're going to use hot glue gun to make a box. Now this is just a temporary model. This is not the solution. And you can see here, years later, we still have it. It's just a box, right? And let's go back over here and get the tool itself. Okay. And what they figured out is that if they put it right here, they solved the problem of the organization. I asked them to integrate the accessories in, but they didn't leave room. There could have been room left right here. That would have been good. So it's not perfect, but it was a solution. Now notice it says air hammer, and then there's learn more about this tool, right? See, you could scan it. And then there's the grab here. But if you look at their blog, this was my student Xavier. He's a nice kid. He's doing engineering now. If you look at their final thing, they did have, see, it's a nice shape, nothing broken yet. They did have learn more about it, and they did have grab here, but they didn't have the words air hammer. So there were 2 people in the team, and you're supposed to solve one problem per person. The second problem was, how does it work and what is it, right? So the students walk up and they go to use it and they don't know what it is, or they're looking for something they might need. They look at the draw, they don't know what it is. So how does it work? Well, we solved that with a video. So if you go to the bottom of this blog that a student made, they showed how they built it. There was a video here. Now for some reason, the video doesn't work anymore. I don't know why. Maybe the account is gone. This is 4 years ago. But what the student did was they took out the tool, they showed you how to assemble it, they showed you how to hook it up to the air, and then they cut some steel with it. It was a pretty cool little video. Now let's go back to the assignment. You see? The idea is to find one solution per person in the team, And you should solve that problem so it works even when you're not there. So like when you graduate, it should still work. Then how do you solve it? You could come up with, like, you could ask people, right? Or you could ask a teacher for some demonstration, or you could think of your own idea. Those are your possible solutions. Then what you could do is you could try out the solution, right? Thomas Edison, fail your way to success, right? See if it works, right? Make it out of cardboard, right? And then the next thing is you got to test it out, right? And then make your measurements and then try and, basically the next thing would be to make it out of steel or aluminum. Now, also there's some weak points here. If you look here, it's pretty obvious that the smallest part, this broke first, which then ripped this section. So this is the weak point in the design, this little tiny spot right here. And probably the next would be here, although it's not very heavy down here. And then the other flaw in the design would be the accessories that go with it. And then also, and then they added air hammer, that was cool. And then this is starting to come up. So this is a flaw as well. That has to be, you could actually laser engrave that into a plate that you could then rivet to it. I mean, you could make this thing awesome. And then that would be a great example moving forward for the rest of the draw. You could have sections or pieces, for each thing. Some people